Hey everybody, I'm James. I started this channel because one day I woke up and realized I was 43 but felt like I was 83. Every day my body could do one less thing than it could do the day before. So if you're like me and you've had enough, then put on your shoes and welcome to Getting Stronger.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Getting Stronger. This is my first ever attempt at shooting a video with my GoPro Hero. So we'll see how it goes. I don't have a screen on the front, so I'm really not quite sure what's in frame, but it's a pretty wide view, so I think I'll be good no matter which way I aim it, okay? So let's give it a shot. So if you subscribe to this channel, I'm pretty sure you're aware that the primary target age group is between about 35, 45, 55, right? Middle age. So why is that? Well, because I'm middle age. I'm getting ready to turn 44, and I'm intimately acquainted with all of the challenges that we face dealing with fitness and, athletics. So a lot of the videos that I make for this channel, I'm making for that age group, right? So let's talk about one of the biggest problems that people between 35 and 55 have. It's the same thing that people come up to me and talk to me about every single day. So let's talk about mobility for just 1 minute, right? So what's mobility versus anything else, right? Well, let me explain. It's like a car. Your car is made up of tons of different types of components, right? You got steering wheels, you got brakes, you got engines, transmissions, etc., right? Well, fitness is the same way. But fitness, instead of having brakes and airbags, you have speed, you have agility, you have balance, you have flexibility, you have endurance, you have mobility, and you have strength. You have all these different components. The one component that people my age seem to lack the most is mobility. It's not strength. And you see this every single day. You walk through the mall or you walk into any local gym, and it's completely normal to see guys that are 30, 40, 50, hell, even 60 and 70 sometimes, just jacked, right? They're super muscular. But these are the same guys who, if they have to bend over and pick up their shoes, their back hurts or their knees hurt. If they stand up or sit down, they're in pain, right? Because they have strength. Strength is easier to develop as well because it's much easier to just go into a gym, sit in a machine, lay on a bench, and push weight. Now, I believe in integrated training, right? Integrated meaning that all those components that I mentioned, from speed to agility to balance, etc., I believe that fitness, a good fitness program, integrates all of these things. When you train, you can't just train to run 30 miles, but you can't lift 20 pounds. And you can't lift, or train to lift 300 pounds off your chest, but, you can't run up a flight of steps, right? Now, I don't like it when any channel or any fitness expert downplays the necessity of any one component. It's my belief that every one of these components is vital, right? But I do believe that at each stage in our lives, different components play a bigger role. So if you're a professional athlete and you're like a lineman and you got to push 300-pound dudes, then obviously strength training is a huge part of what you need to be focusing on, right? You're not going to be balancing on a balancing beam, right? You're not what do you call those people in the circus? The tightrope walkers. You need horsepower. But if you're a person who does walk on a rope, in the circus, maybe you don't need to be able to push 300 pounds. Maybe you really need to focus more on your balance. So even though each is important, each isn't as equally as important to each and every person. In the Navy, we always had this expression, train like you fight, right? Well, I believe people should train like they live. If you're a person who doesn't lift more than about 50 pounds a day in your everyday life, more than probably twice a year, why do we spend our entire year training our body to be able to lift 300 pounds off of our chest when, quite frankly, life is never going to put you in that circumstance? When was the last time you had to push 300 pounds off of your chest while you were laying on your back? It's just not functional. But we move every single day. Oh, you can choose, if you want, to go into the gym and train every single day, week, month, hour, year, whatever, being able to develop the ability to push 200, 300, 400 pounds, squat 300 pounds, do all this stuff. That's fantastic. You can do it. But honestly, it's not going to make your life any better. What I do want you to be able to do is get up out of your bed and walk into the kitchen and make yourself breakfast without feeling like you're going to die or you just got hit by a truck, right? We want to talk about mobility and increasing and enhancing your ability to just get through your everyday with less pain. So for the past 3 weeks, I've been doing 2-a-days, right? So I train in the morning and I train in the evening. And what I'm really focusing on more in the morning is mobility and conditioning, because I could say it 1,000 times, we move way more than we lift. right? So mobility and cardiovascular health and strength, to me, is more important at this stage in my life than being able to lift large amounts of weight. So I dedicate 2 hours in the morning to mobility and conditioning and an hour to strength in the evening. So today what I'm going to share with you is just some of the things that I do in the morning for those 2 hours to really stretch my body out. Because when you talk about mobility, what you're really talking about is range of motion, right? It's about the ability to move your muscles, your arms, your legs, your hips, your joints, through its complete range of motion. So if you can't lift your arm up over your head, then you got mobility problems because your shoulder is made, in a ball and socket to rotate up and rotate around and down. If you can't bend down and squat, then you got problems with your knees and your hips, right? And so what I want to do is talk about what I do in the morning every single day now for about 20 minutes to help with my mobility, with my range of motion, right? I'm not going to really talk about conditioning or cardiovascular training because it's pretty simple, right? This isn't rocket science. Get on a bike, go for a run, get in the pool and swim, jump rope, do anything, get on a stair stepper. It's not complicated to get your heart rate up. All of this will make your heart stronger. So today I'm going to start off with just showing you two very basic fundamental things you can do, exercises you can do to start opening up your body and regaining some flexibility and mobility. One, we're going to start with just the squat, and then the second is we're going to start with a hang, like a dead hang. So what we're going to do is over here to my left, I have a playground area, with a lot of nice mulch. It's in the shade. We're going to go over there. I have some monkey bars that I can use for my dead hang, and I'm just going to kind of show you this quick little 10-minute routine that I go through. It's going to seem very simple, but I promise you, if you try to do it every single day for just 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to find after a week, 2, 3 weeks, your body's going to feel so much better. Okay, so as you can see, I'm in a complete squat position. My butt's almost all the way into the grass, right? Now, this doesn't seem like it's very complicated, but I can promise you the average adult between 35 and 55 cannot get into this position. And the reason is because we spend so much of our time sitting in chairs where the chair is doing the majority of the work. Our knees, our ankles, our hips just will not allow us, and our lower backs will not allow us to get into this position. So what I do is every single day I do this 4-round little routine where I get into a squat position or as close to it as I can. If I have to, I put some books or something under my heels to lift up my heels to make it easier. I come up a little bit more like this. Anything I can to try to get into this position, because this is the ultimate goal, is to get as low as you can. So what I do is I do 60 seconds of squat, and then I go over to the bar, whether it's a pull-up bar, gymnastic rings, I don't care what it is. Just something that you can hang on to, right? And I do 4 rounds. So I do 60-second squat, 15-second hang, 60-second squat, 30-second hang. You can see. Now the reason why I stagger the hangs is because it's hard, right? For most of us, we don't have the grip strength to be able to hang for the 60 seconds. So what I do is I build up to it, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45, and then 60. So we're going to run through this real quick, and then I'm going to just show you what it would look like, and then we'll come back for closing comments and wrap it up, okay? Okay, so I'm starting round 1. I'm in a full squat position. My hips, as you can see, are opened up, and my back is straight, and I'm just sitting here and allowing my joints from my ankles to my knees to my hips to my lower back to open up. So what I do is I set my timer for 1 minute. Okay, here we go, and I'll just sit down and let my body, open up. Now it's important to note, I don't know if you can tell, but I have my heels flat on the ground. So you don't really want to lean forward up on your toes. You want to keep your weight back on your heels, maybe to your mid-foot back to your heel, right? And just let it sink in. When you get comfortable, you can kind of take your hands with your elbows and push your hips out to even get more of a stretch, right? Just take your hands and your elbows and push your hips out. It's fantastic. It feels great. But for the first round, I'm just going to sit here and just let my knees and everything just kind of start to stretch out. Got 10 seconds to go. Whew. Feels really good, actually. The most of my tension is actually in my ankles. I've had a lot of injuries in my ankles, and the tendons and ligaments are very tight. Okay. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to transition over to the monkey bars. So we're back for round two. I'm going to do another 60 seconds. So we'll do 60 seconds here, and then we'll go back for 30 seconds on the dead hang, right? So now in the second round, I'm going to kind of start really pushing my hips out, right? I'm still keeping my back straight. I'm still keeping my heels and foot flat on the floor, the ground, and I'm just kind of pushing my hips open, right? Pushing my knees out and just letting that, you know, loosen up. So I can do that. The thing you can do as you start getting really loose is you can kind of take one arm and dig it in and just kind of bend upwards. Right? And you can just kind of things like this. Up 3 seconds, 2, let's head back over for 30 seconds. Okay, so now I'm back for round 3. Do another 60 seconds. Move over, see if I can get into frame. And again, wow, that last 30 seconds was pretty tough. I'm actually hanging over the wood instead of the bars. And it's actually harder, I think, doing that. The wood's really digging into my palm. So I'm going to try maybe the bars the next time. But anyway, so back to this again. Now what you can do is just start leaning forward. And back up. Lean forward. And back up. Any kind of thing to really stretch, your hips, your lower back, right? You can even, get a wider stretch. Really push out. But try to keep your back as straight as you can. Try to keep your feet as flush on the ground as you can. So that's about 5 seconds left. And we'll move back over to the 45 second. See how that goes, holding on to the bar. Okay, this is round 4, last one. Back into my squat position. Nothing special, just letting my whole body just kind of open up. Even sometimes you can kind of bounce a little bit. Stretch your shoulders, your lower back, anything. Whew, feels fantastic. Okay, down to 30 seconds. So I really encourage you again, I can't say it enough. I know that a lot of people, when they go to the gym, you know, they love to lift, right? They want to lift weights. But if you really think about it, again, what's driving this need, right, to lift astronomical weights? A lot of times, if we're really honest, it's just ego, right? Lifting weights makes bigger muscles. Bigger muscles look great on TV. They look great in a tank top, and they look great at the beach, right? And, you know, gets the chicks, right? But what we really want to do is we want to train to make our everyday lives better, not to necessarily, you know, prepare to go to the beach, right? Okay, that's it. So let's do our last one for 60 seconds. It's going to be tough. My grip's starting to fade, and I don't have any chalk here, so I'm trying to use the ground to get some grip. We'll go from there, and then we'll wrap this thing up, right? Wow, that last one for 60 seconds was really tough. Not only was my grip about to give, my forearms felt like they were about to explode. And so don't worry, if you you know, haven't done this for a while and your grip isn't that strong, forget 30 seconds, forget 60 seconds. Just do, you know, intervals of 10 seconds. You know, if you do 10 seconds 4 times, that's fantastic. Next time you come back out, try to do it for 12 seconds, and then maybe work up to 15. It don't matter, right? Just get out there and hang. You'd be surprised how great your shoulders are going to feel, how your lower back's going to feel, your neck's going to feel. It's fantastic. So that's pretty much it for this mobility session. Like I said, I showed you those two, the squat and the dead hang. Next time we make a video, I'm going to show you a couple of more exercises that you can do. And then you can stack it on top of the two we just did. Before you know it, you'll have enough exercises to do a 20-minute mobility workout, and you're going to feel absolutely great. And this will propel you into higher workouts, more intense workouts, because your joints are going to be open and your muscles are going to be stretched and your body's ready to do the work, right? You don't want to do hard work when your body's not ready, right? So 20 minutes before the heavy workout, doing mobility training is a great way to start your day. So I encourage you, give it a shot this week, see how you feel. Leave some comments down below and let me know if you enjoyed it. Let me know if your back and your shoulder and your knees and everything felt much better. And if you were able to get through your day a little bit, with a little bit less pain than you did before. I'd love to hear how you did, right? So don't forget also, if you enjoyed this video, give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love for you to hang around with us and keep following us week after week on our journey back to fitness, right? So until next time, remember, Psalms 139 tells us that each and every one of us is fearfully and wonderfully made by our Creator above. And it is in Him that we live and move and have our being. That's right, we move. So for the rest of this week, please, whatever you eat, whatever you drink, and whatever you do, please keep getting stronger. And I'm out.